Your name, your address, and your phone number are floating around the internet. Easy for strangers, scammers, and companies you've never heard of to find. Data brokers and shady databases collect and sell your private details to anyone willing to pay, putting you at risk of nonstop spam, scams, and fraud. You can't stop them from collecting data, but you can control who gets to keep it. That's why I use Incogni. They remove your private information from more than 420 of these sites automatically. And with their unlimited plan, you get total coverage. If you spot your personal details anywhere else online, just send them the link, and their privacy experts will get it taken down. It's the easiest, most complete way to protect yourself and personal life. Right now, you can lock in 60% off with my exclusive deal at privacykim.com. Go to privacykim.com right now and start protecting your privacy. This is so important. Privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com. But wait, there's more. Here's hour 4 of the Kim Komando Show. Okay, this is super interesting to me. I mean, when you go out to dinner with your family members and friends and you had such a great time, do you text them afterwards to say, wow, it was so nice getting together with you? Well, as it turns out, there may be something else going on behind the scenes. Turns out that millennials are making a habit of sending these warm, heartfelt messages after just hanging out with friends. Something like, had such a great time. It was so nice to see you, right? Wasn't it so wonderful? Okay, what they're really doing is making sure that their friend really did have a good time, because if the friend doesn't write back, they are suddenly getting anxiety. What is going on with that? The average American says thank you 6 times a day. And here's one for you. Thank you, student loans, for helping me get through college. I don't think I can ever repay you. Oh, that one hurt even me. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's America's largest show about all things digital. It's the most trusted show, award-winning show. Because after all, I'm Kim Komando, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. And I am here to make sure that you are always tech ahead and never left tech behind in the digital dust. And you can find the show on over 425 top stations across the United States. And we're streaming in your favorite radio app. And of course, you can find the Kim Komando Show as a podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Komando with a K. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, reaching over 375,000 U.S. service members serving in 175 different countries and 200 ships at sea. I always find that so cool that my voice is being heard all over the world on American Forces Network Radio, because without you guys and gals, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing, because you're protecting all of our freedom. And the Komando hotline's open right now at 1-888-825-5254. I'd love for you to join in on the fun. And you can also make an appointment to speak with me right here on the show. Head over to komando.com, and up at the top, there's a link that says Ask Kim. Alrighty, then every single day I dive into at least 35, 40 different sources, and I talk to industry insiders, and I test products, and I read the white papers to make sure that I can impart all of this intellect and know-how directly to you. And here are 5 things you need to know it's happening right now. And let's start with the fear that artificial intelligence will soon take over your job. I mean, who should be the most worried, and what jobs are completely, maybe at least for a time being, AI proof? Now, all you recent high school and college grads, you need to pay attention, especially if you have a bachelor's in psychology or art or history or something like that. They are not going to help you get hired. For an AI proof job, you might want to try residential or commercial electricians. That job requires spot on judgment and, above all, human hands. How about plumbers and pipe fitters? They're on the list. Carpenters, cabinet makers, framing carpenters, all the same reasons. Human hands and great minds. Flight attendants are also on the list. I mean, do you think ChatGPT could calm a nervous flyer down? I don't think so. So who's being really hit by AI? Graphic artists, photographers, coders, writers. Yeah, the whole list, it goes on and on. Moving on to number 2, speaking of ChatGPT, if you're in your 20s, let's just say you don't have a lot of money to get by. You may still be living in your parents' home. So how do you pay for, say, a $200 hour-long therapy session? Turns out that a lot of Gen Zers are opting for ChatGPT for a few reasons. Number one, it's cheap. Number two, ChatGPT, it's always there for you. You don't have to make an appointment. If you're having a hard time at midnight, you just hop on ChatGPT, your favorite chatbot. You can talk about your issues. And it turns out that millions of people are doing just that. One commenter on Reddit said that he made more progress in a few weeks chatting with a bot than he did in 15 years of traditional therapy. Now, experts are saying, oh, no, this is a totally bad idea. Bots can give you dangerous advice. The bot is not a trained therapist. It can't recognize the warning signs. You know, that could be true. But if you're having some issues, you might want to give it a shot. All right, millions of us have been the victim of these irritating hobby drones, and this is coming in at number 3. Now, if you shoot at one, you could be arrested. Jamming the drone's radio signal is also illegal. Now, it's also illegal to jam any kind of radio device or signal. So for now, drone operators can cause panic, they can close airports, they can irritate neighborhoods with absolute impunity. Virtually no one outside of the FBI or military can legally take down a drone. Now, of course, this needs to change. I mean, it's long past the time when we would want to create laws and regulations to permit any of us to take them down. Now, the reason why I bring this up is I was hanging out by the pool, and I looked it all up because, yes, a drone flew overhead. I was in my bikini, and what did I do? I waved. All right, moving on to number 4. Do you remember in the late 1990s, the arrival of something called the Internet Cafe? This was a magical place, a new place where you could take your laptop and relax and work online. Well, here we are, years later, and those cafes and coffee shops, they no longer want your business. You see, when they first opened, high-speed internet was hard to find, but now you can find it just about anywhere. So coffee shop and restaurant owners are just fed up with folks buying only one cup of coffee, then using their Wi-Fi for free and hogging a table all day long. So they're fighting back. Some are declaring their shops a Wi-Fi free zone. Others are okay as long as you buy products along the way. And I like this one. Some owners are actually removing the electrical outlets so you can't recharge. Yes, internet mooching days are over. And finally, this coming in at number 5. This is a crazy story. This is something that you're going to want to share with your family members and friends, and they're going to say, wow, where did you hear about this? And of course, you could give me all the credit. Did you ever think when you see the day when you can shop for a baby, like you're picking out a pair of pants or maybe a new car? Well, that day is here. A company, Polygen X, unbelievable, charging parents $50,000 to look at embryos to pick out the ones that seem the brightest. Those are their words, the brightest. Here's how it works. A genetic test called pre-implantation genetic testing for polygenetic risk. The test takes a look at multiple genes to predict complex traits, ADHD, intelligence, any health risks, any possible mutations. So the parents start by undergoing the usual IVF process. They create embryos by fertilizing eggs with sperm, and then the embryos are frozen. Genetic data is collected from each one. The company analyzes all of this and gives each embryo a score based on traits like IQ, height, or risk of certain disorders. Then you go to the website and you see the predicted intelligence of the various embryos. Then you pick the one that you want with the highest IQ score. Now, combine this news with AI taking over the world. You know, it's actually really frightening, isn't it? Let me tell you, we have a jam-packed show you're not going to want to miss a moment of. Just the best calls, the best tips. And of course, you have me, Kim Komando. Hey, imagine getting $500 for yourself and $500 to someone who truly deserves it. That's my Pay It Forward contest. You can enter right now at winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. All righty, then we're going to talk about how you can use ChatGPT in an innovative way that you probably never thought of in just a few minutes. But first, Sarah in Portland, Oregon. Hi there, Sarah.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for taking my call. So, I feel weird even talking about this because I sometimes feel like it makes me sound crazy and paranoid. But, over 10 years now, I have had the sinking feeling that somebody is stalking me. And I have come to the conclusion that I think it might be my brother.
Oh.
He works in IT. He not only is he in IT, but he also works for an internet service provider, which is the one that I use for my home internet. And I recently cut ties with him over the summer. Throughout our whole childhoods and into adult life, there's been a history of character smears, telling lies to other family members, telling lies about me to our parents. And after a particularly egregious episode last summer, I told him I no longer wanted a relationship. This episode came after I had been traveling for 5 weeks internationally for a job.
Okay.
I think he was just really jealous. And anyhow, since I had cut ties with him, I've been under just a never-ending cyber attack. I'm, constantly getting notifications that, a code has been requested, et cetera. One thing to note also, before I stopped speaking with him, he freely admitted to me on several occasions that he's very active on the dark web and uses it to have illegal drugs sent to his house.
Right. So we're dealing with a character that you would never be friends with, but you're blood related. Okay, so. Mm-hmm. So we have some history and ties and emotional baggage and all that other stuff that comes with that. Yeah. You mentioned getting like 2-factor authentication codes. Give me like 3 other real quick examples of some ways that you think that you're getting stalked.
So a couple of years ago, I posted a picture on Facebook, and it was with a male best friend of mine, no romantic history. My friend started getting Facebook messages that were along the lines of, "Oh my God, I was so drunk last night. Did we have sex?" And of course, my friend, we don't have that relationship. So he called me and was like, I think somebody hacked your Facebook. Same time period, I was getting messages on my Facebook account from an account that appeared to be a childhood friend, a family friend, asking questions again about my sex life. And that was not a relationship that she and I had. We knew each other. Our families were friends growing up, but she and I had never been close. So I, did a quick search in the search bar, saw that there were 2 accounts under her name, duplicate, and texted her and was like, "Hey, are you on Facebook right now?" And she was like, "No, I'm at work." So there's 2 examples right there. And then just a couple of days ago, I'm on a job search. I unexpectedly lost my job with no reason. So that's another thing that I think might have something to do with this. But I've been trying to protect myself. So digging through, forums and kind of how I came across you, I put up a firewall on my MacBook. I've changed my Apple ID. I've changed all my passwords.
Good.
I even was able to get into my router and change passwords.
Good. I was going to tell you to make sure that you do that. That's where a lot of people, they don't do that.
The morning after I changed all of that, I woke up to a notification that almost 300 passwords of mine had been leaked in a data breach. So I'm doing all of this stuff to secure my information, and within hours, I got a notification on my iPhone that all of my passwords had been breached.
God, what a nightmare! What a nightmare this is for you. This is awful.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about what we can do. Okay, you already did the router. Okay, so you changed all the passwords on that. If you can do a factory reset on the router and change the password just to make sure that everything's all locked down. Any devices that you have attached to the router, I know it sounds crazy, but there could be a way that he could get in, especially if he's hanging out on the dark web, is whether it's a security camera, a video doorbell, whatever it may be. You're going to have to make sure that you do a factory reset to all of that. Instead of when you change a password, it does 2-factor authentication that goes to your phone. I want you to use the Google Authenticator app. Okay. So it's a 6-digit code that's sent, and it's only valid for 30 seconds. But if he has access to a cloud account, your email, whatever, he's not going to be able to see that. So this way we make sure that, another option is that you can use physical security keys that you plug into your computer if you wanted to go that route. And one's called the YubiKey, Y-U-B-I, YubiKeys. They're like USB drives, but in order to get a 2FA, it has to be plugged into your computer. I don't know what legal options you might have if there was an attorney that maybe would know something about this. It's really unfortunate that you have to go through all this, to have one person that, is causing such tumult in your life right now. I wish there was just one big fix, there was just a side of me, Sarah, that just thought, like, I wonder if there was a way that you could actually change your name,
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know that's a big step. It requires a lot of things. And I don't know, he may be able to even find that out through your parents or through a friend or a family member or something like that.
The other thing is I think my dad's in on it. Because I recently, when I lost my job unexpectedly, my dad went into a tirade. It was weird. I was telling him, I'm doing okay with it. It's bad news. But he then all of a sudden started attacking me on my finances. And I've always been extremely financially responsible. The only debt I have is my mortgage. And he wouldn't take that as the truth. And he kept saying, I know things about you. I know things about you. And I was like, what are you claiming to know about my finance? I'm 40 years old, and he was like, I can't say. And so I haven't been speaking to him either.
Well, it sounds like you shouldn't be speaking to anybody. I think you need to take a 6-month leave of absence from the family, and get yourself together. Take all the steps that you can to further separate yourself from your brother and things that are going on. You might want to think about filing a police report, especially if you have evidence that he's actually behind this or strong suspicion. Yeah. You're going to have to go to the police station to do this and ask to speak to a cybersecurity expert at the police station. Show them all the evidence, show them everything that's going on. But you're going to have to take some extreme steps in order to do this. And it goes through not just tech, it goes through coping mechanisms as well, Sarah. I mean, how do you deal with this every single day? But use the Google Authenticator app. Maybe get a physical device like I talked about the YubiKey. Reset everything in your life. Reset everything. Get a password manager. Go to keepersecurity.com/Kim. You're going to get 50% off. So this way, when it comes time to change all your passwords, it's a lot easier to do. Again, that's keepersecurity.com/Kim. Sarah, do all that. You need any help afterwards, just give me a call back. Happy to be here for you. What a call. All right, it's happened to me, it's happened to you. Somebody's birthday, anniversary, shower, whatever it is, and you don't have a card. Yes, to the rescue, ChatGPT. You just upload your favorite photo, hit edit, and then choose what you want to tweak. You can change the background, add a birthday banner, drop in some confetti. And then you always want to mention the size that you need, like make it 5 by 7 inches. And just one last tip. Always print a test page before using that good cardstock because that uses a lot of ink. All right, still to come, we have some eBay tips that you're not going to want to miss. And also, what's going on with Amazon? They're selling used products as new. We have a secret with that here on the Kim Komando Show. Okay, your ex is gone, but your phone's photo app didn't get the memo. And every time you open up your phone, it's their face. You're like, oh, make it stop. Now, if you have an iPhone, Apple has something called breakup mode. You open the Photos app, find a pic of your ex, click the 3 dots menu, and then you tap feature this person. You got a couple of options, less or never again. Yes. Now, for Google Photos users, you're not stuck with bad memories either. Go to your photo settings and memories and hide people or pets. Select the person, and they're going to vanish from your memory. Well, at least your phone's memory. And by the way, those photos are never deleted. They're just tucked away where you don't have to see them. Now you can go back on your phone without asking yourself, what was I thinking going out with that person? Alrighty then, still to come, Amazon sells some products as new. There's a secret to figuring all that out. And before we get to all of that, Scott in Palm Beach, Florida. Welcome to the show today, Scott.
Hi, Kim. How are you doing?
I'm great. What's going on?
Well, I am a high school teacher, and we are a Title I school, which means we have our funding is a little limited. We get some extra funding because we're a Title I, but funds are always tight. And I'm a computer teacher, and as such, every single one of my students have a computer, and they have access to things online and such. And they don't always like to be on the websites that I tell them to go to.
No, say that's not true, Scott. Come on.
Yeah, there's just, they want to do their own thing and play some games and watch football and all kinds of things like this. And so it can be challenging when I'm up at the front and trying to teach and I can't really see their screens. And so they're kind of off task and doing their own thing. And I used to have a program that I paid for a long time ago. I don't know if I can say the name of it.
You can say whatever you want to.
Okay.
That's fine.
It was Land School, and it worked pretty well, and I used it quite often. But this year we upgraded to Windows 11, and I had a perpetual license for it. Land School has now gone to subscription-based. And so I tried to install that perpetual license on the Windows 11 machine. It just didn't work. So I am quite literally in the dark in that I can't really see what's going on with my students without literally walking around to the back of my
Of course.
class.
And then they're hitting some keys real fast like, oh, look, I'm doing exactly what you want me to do. Let me ask you a question. So how are you handling smartphones in the classroom?
Basically, they're not allowed.
Okay.
And that I tend to be able to catch a little easier because they're usually hiding it under their desk, and I can kind of see them looking down past their computer. And, so I have a little bit of inkling on that.
Well, I was just curious from a parental standpoint. Now, when the kids get to the classroom, do they have to put them in a cell phone box or anything like that?
Some teachers do that. I just have them keep them away. And if I see it, I take it. And I'm pretty strict on that.
That's good.
And after the first 3 or 4 of them in the class see me do that, they get the message, and I don't have too big of a problem.
Scott is not putting up with your junk, okay? Let me just tell you, it's not happening. You have some options. One I think is going to be absolutely perfect for you. It's called Virtual Ion Networks. That's VEYON, Virtual Ion Networks. What you're going to love about
I've seen that.
Okay, what I love about it is that it works. It's been around for a long time, and it's free. It's open source, which means you have a lot of support that goes along with it. But you could take a look at all the student screens. You could actually take full control. Wouldn't that be funny? Okay.
And that's what the other one let me do. Yeah. I could take control of it. I could lock it. I could text message them and say, hey, get on task.
So you could, what you could do is be kind of funny is that if somebody's watching football, is that you minimize that screen and you put up like Barney. And it's like, you want me to treat you like a baby? I'll treat you like a baby. It's totally up to you. I love you. Yeah. You love me. And then also you can share your screen if you want to show everybody how to do one thing. You can shut down the computers. You can log them off. I mean, it's been out there for a long time. So the website, it's VEYON.io, Virtual Ion Networks. If that one doesn't suit your fancy, there's also another free one called Light Manager. And not so much made for students, but it does work. It's LITEmanager.com, Light Manager. And of course, I have to tell you this side of the story is that, of course, there's always privacy laws. I know you were going to, think about that. I don't know how it works in the state of Florida, but, if you're in California, I'm sure everybody in California would be like, oh, no, we can't do that. But anyway.
These are school computers, so they belong to us. So that's not really an...
Yeah, so it's not an issue. I just want to throw it out there. It's in case you want to look it up, just in case. It's the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Yes. I know. By the way, these programs are also good if you are ever in a work environment, not just a school environment. So in case you want to check it out, again, it's Virtual Ion Networks, or you want to take a look at Light Manager free. Scott, thank you for your call today. Alrighty then, I have a great story to share. It was a previous guest here on the show, Linda Lightman. She started selling her kids' video games on eBay back in the 90s. Okay, fast forward, guess how much she's making today? Anybody? $25 million a year on eBay. Wow, isn't that something? So if you want to be a pro eBay seller, here are some of Linda's top tips. Number 1, research. Even if you know your product inside out, it's important to understand the market and price it right by checking what similar items are selling for. Second, photos matter a lot. You want to snap your item in natural light on a white background to make it pop. As Linda says, it's really all about the picture. And finally, you have to be a good seller. You want to be prompt and reliable once a buyer pays. You want to pack and ship quickly, just like you promised in your listing. And while free shipping is all around us, if you do charge, be reasonable. Excellent customer service, that's paramount too. eBay can be useless though at times. I tried to look up lighters and wow, I got 18,061 matches. Whoa. You didn't see that one coming. I bet you didn't. All right, still to come, Amazon selling used products as new, and we have more of your fantastic phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise, home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the Dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
Alrighty then, Ken in San Bernardino. So happy to hear from you. Hi, Ken.
Hi, Kim.
What's going on?
I have a question about these chat bots that are sort of replacing Google search. How do we know they're not giving you a paid advertisement in response to your questions?
You know what? That is an excellent question. It really is. What makes you think of that?
Well, it just seems to me they could, they're out to make money. So if you ask one of these chatbots, what's the best car to buy for college kids? How do you know they give you a real answer and not a paid ad from a car dealership?
Well, I think it's coming. I don't think that we're quite there yet. But I foresee a time in the not too distant future where you do say, I want to buy a car. I'm looking for, say, the best wrench, or what color paint should I put this room, where you're going to have a list of options to buy things along the way. I don't think we're quite there yet as far as getting sponsored posts. But it's not unrealistic that if you were to type in a car or vacation, or whatever it may be, is that you do see ads around whatever you're searching for. And in addition to that, you do have sponsored posts and you do have sponsored products. But for right now, I don't see that as an issue. I mean, they're still trying to figure out how to make sure that if somebody says, show me George Washington, that it's not an African American, right? I mean, they've got a lot of issues with AI spilling out bad information, misinformation. And so they need to get their whole arms around that whole issue. In addition, the AI being biased because of the way it's being programmed. I mean, there are just so many different complications right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what has your experience been with AI?
Well, I used the Microsoft thing. What's it called?
Copilot.
Copilot, thank you. And the answers are pretty good. They're not quite as deep as I would like to see. But I do get the sense that I might be being shoved advertising.
Not quite yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
It sounds like you mean that you're looking for it, but it's not quite there yet. But it is coming, as I mentioned. You might want to also. You said use Microsoft Copilot. Every once in a while, just try ChatGPT. And in addition to that, there's one called Perplexity.ai. Have you tried that one?
No.
Perplexity.ai is another contender in this whole, like, who's going to be the greatest chatbot ever. And this one's being backed by the likes of Google and also Jeff Bezos. But what I like about Perplexity.ai is that it seems to be the accuracy is a little bit better, even though I'm paying $20 a month for ChatGPT. But the other thing to keep in mind, too, is that when you're using any type of these AI chatbots, is that your results are really directly related to how good the prompt actually is that you actually fed it, meaning that you have to give it the right information. So, like, for example, if you are in the market for a car, you have to say, I'm a consumer looking for an automobile in this price range, and these are the most important factors to me when choosing a car. And I want you to be an automotive expert and consultant and help me decide which of these cars might be the best. Give me your top 3. And then you just keep asking it questions after questions after questions. And I know sometimes you're like, yeah, but it still didn't quite get it right. Well, that's because we are still in the infancy. I want you to think of this whole era of AI where we are right now as if it were 2007 and the first iPhone came out. And we were sitting there going, wow, this is different. This feels different. This looks like the future of what it could be. And it was. And that's where we are with AI right now. What we have with AI right now is nothing compared to what it's going to be 3, 5, 10 years from now. Hey, Ken, thank you for your call today. You know, I just love taking your calls. And if you ever have a question for me, it's really super easy to make an appointment to speak with me here on the show. You don't have to wait on hold for hours like other people. Just go to commando.com. There's a link on the top that says Ask Kim. Stacy in Reno, Nevada.
Hi, how are you, Kim?
I'm good. What's going on?
So I'm an interior designer, and I specialize in window treatments. And I've been working on, trying to be consistent with all of my information, that I gather when I'm on an appointment, so that I can put together a quote for a client when I'm back in the office.
Sure.
And so I've got this form that I've created in Excel, but instead of having them printed out, it's really helpful if I could have it, that I could fill it out on my tablet, and then I could upload pictures of the room and make little notes on it as I go, and then I have it on all my, my cloud, so I can access it from anywhere.
Sure.
And I'm trying to find an app or an application that I can do that with.
And so you said you're using Microsoft Excel?
Yes.
And is that working out for you then?
The form, right now I just have to print it because I can't fill it out at my client's house, so.
Right, I get that.
The form itself is working.
All right, good.
But when I just use my tablet and I just take notes, I tend to forget things or not have them in the same place every time.
For sure. You're not alone, okay, in forgetting things. Microsoft OneNote is what you're going to look at. It works with Microsoft Excel, and basically you're going to insert the Microsoft Excel form into OneNote, and then that allows you to draw and write notes directly on it. And it works with handwriting, drawing, typing. It syncs across everything. And that would probably be the easiest way for you to get that done. The reason why I asked if you were happy with Excel is that, there are just, so many specific applications now. Like, for example, in your industry, there's something called WindowWare Pro and My Blind Co. And these are specifically for window covering professionals like yourself. And it helps manage your business, streamlines the workflow. It gives you estimates and quotes, and it integrates with QuickBooks.
Oh, I do have a program that does that.
Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, good.
Because I don't have that, like if I'm at a client's house and I'm doing a drapery and then I'm using Roman shades, it's easier to just draw on there, the measurements, where I'm going to put the rod and things like that.
Oh, for sure.
So,
yeah. Instead it's like, okay, go 2 inches, type. No, we don't want to type anything in. We want to be able to just to draw it. So just pick up Microsoft OneNote. And it's definitely just a really quick solution for you to make that magic happen. Which, OneNote is one of these products from Microsoft that doesn't get a lot of attention, but it really is truly powerful. Stacey, thank you for your call today. Hey, if you're not already getting my free newsletter, The Current, what the heck are you waiting for? Over 650,000 people start their day with my free email. Just give me 5 minutes and you'll be tech ahead. You'll know exactly what's going on in the consumer tech industry with artificial intelligence, your jobs. And here's where you need to go. getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. I have a 5 out of 5 star rating over at Trustpilot, a 5 out of 5 star rating at Google Reviews for the show and for the newsletter. So really, if you really care about your future, you don't want to be left behind in the digital dust, this show is a great place to start. But I want you to supplement your tech know-how with my free newsletter. Head over to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. All right, Amazon has 3 secret little letters that you might find on the packaging that tells you whether or not what you're buying is new. Coming right back, I'm going to tell you what those 3 letters are, so you want to stay right where you are. All right, here's something not a lot of people know about. Amazon sells returned new stuff as new. Now, Amazon says the returned items go through a thorough inspection process. And if the product passes inspection, the item's then listed back up on Amazon as new. So how can you make sure what you're buying is truly new? There are no guarantees. You really want to buy items both sold and shipped by Amazon, not necessarily by a third-party reseller. It doesn't guarantee success, but it does increase your chances. And as soon as you receive your package, here's the secret. Look for these 3 letters. Look for a label on the packaging that begins with the letters LPN. That usually means it's not new. And be sure to enter to win my Pay It Forward challenge. You win $500, and then you get to give $500 to somebody else at winfromkim.com. And that's the end of hour 4. But I'm sure in your podcast player, there are some shows that you haven't listened to. Come on. Just fire up your podcast player and get more tech know-how, whether you're walking or on your commute or whatever you might be doing.
Every minute your finance team spends wrestling with data is a minute lost. Insight Software's AI-powered insights instantly move you from complexity to clarity. Automated analysis, real-time reporting, strategic recommendations, all at your fingertips. Transform how your finance team works and watch your business grow. Stop wasting time. Start making smarter decisions. Learn more at insightsoftware.com/AI.